say one thing.
Well, I was just trying it. It's like I'm going to try holding this mic because I feel like this shirt, the microphone's going to be rubbing on my chin. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll try it like this. Either way, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Tight Splice Charters podcast. This is going to be episode number 4. And again, we've got Breezy sitting with us for another episode here because everyone was a big fan of her on the last one. So, we don't really have, I don't think this one's going to go as long as the last one, but we're just going to sit down and talk about fishing. The main thing we're going to start off talking about, as you guys could probably see, we have some new hardware here in front of us on the old desk. Also above our heads here, we've got a big cardboard check because a lot of you already know that me and Kelly were fortunate enough to take home a second place finish in the Roland Martin Marine Series Championship 2-day event out here on Lake Okeechobee just a couple of days ago. Most of you that are watching this, I assume, already are aware of it because the amount of text messages, DMs, phone calls I received from everybody was overwhelming and pretty crazy. I do apologize if I didn't get back to all of you. And it was crazy to me what messages I got from certain people, just because I know a lot of you are out of state, from far and away places where you guys are probably snowed in right now. And a lot of you were texting me within, it seemed like minutes or just an hour or so after the tournament was over. So I guess you guys were watching on live, or I don't know how word spread so fast, but it was awesome. So basically, here's the deal. I'm still editing the footage from the tournament days. And I went right to work the very next day, been working every day. So I haven't had time to really go through and cut the footage. I am going through and doing that. So the video will be up, probably the next video you see after this. And in that, the way I'm going to do it is I'm really going to kind of break down the tournament and exactly what happened throughout both days and how we approached it, what we think now maybe we should have done different, which we really don't think was much, but just kind of really diagnose the day and our game plan. But in this, I'm sure we'll get into just talking about, because Breezy hasn't even heard how the whole 2 days went or anything because she was out of town. So we'll get into that, and then I'm sure we'll just, I don't know, talk about fishing, I guess. Other stuff. I don't know. But the one trend I did notice, and the reason I knew I was going to do good in this event, was because, Breezy was out of town. And every time she's out of town, I do well in an event. Every single time, I feel like. When I won the ABA, you were in here, and there was a few other ones where you either couldn't make it to the weigh-in or you were just out of town completely. Is when
a lot of times I'm hunting, so it sounds like I just need to keep hunting, right?
Yeah, she was actually had to go to a wedding, and for her best friend. So I think we discussed that last time, but yeah, it was definitely a crazy weekend. Full disclosure, a lot of you probably watched my tournament or my practice video. My boat never touched any water that was in my tournament or my practice video in the tournament. It was a real freak thing. I think I practiced like 2 full days. I was off. Breezy took Lake to work with her. And I went out and practiced for this event. And like I said before, Breezy works for my father-in-law, her dad, running a trucking company. But I guess it's like your dad still also works for a crate company. Mm-hmm. So obviously, a lot of people don't know, but a giant industry down here. Everyone knows about the sugarcane fields and stuff. But during the spring, Florida grows a lot of sweet corn. That's what they call it, right? A sweet corn?
Sweet corn, yep.
Okay.
We have a fall crop, and then we have a spring crop. The spring crop's bigger, lasts a little bit longer, and the corn's sweeter, but we've already started our fall corn now.
Okay, so when I first started dating Breezy, she would, obviously her dad's been running this trucking company for a long time, and she's been here her whole life. And somehow, I don't even remember when the first time I heard about sweet corn was with you, but I remember looking at you like, are you going and get it? Your dad's hauling corn from other places and bringing it here. she was like, no, like that's it right there in the backyard.
Backyard.
Yeah, that's corn. I didn't know Florida could even grow corn. And then like where I was working at the time, I remember going to work and talking about corn season, and everyone at my job who's lived in Florida their entire life was like, we didn't even know they grew corn. But I guess it's because the muck in the soil around the lake is so rich in nutrients and all that it can grow pretty much anything, right?
Yes, correct. We grow lots, but sweet corn is sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like any of you that have never tried it from around the lake, it's noticeably different than any other corn you'll ever. And I'm not just saying that; it's crazy.
When you go to your local grocery store, see where it's from. If it's from South Florida, you're good to go.
Mm-hmm. It's nuts. I mean, and obviously who doesn't like corn on the cob on the grill, but it's literally, it tastes like you grew it in sugar or something. I mean, it's really sweet. So the reason I'm saying that is a kind of a business that her dad also works for is a crate company, and basically they build wooden crates to send out to the fields, to the farmers for the corn to get crated in, and then it gets distributed to the grocery stores and whatnot, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so one of the higher ups at that business was down here, or in that company that's worked with Breezy and her dad for forever, was down here in town for work, but had a morning where he was able to sneak out and go. He wanted to go soak shiners, so they got him hooked up with me. And long story short, this gentleman, Mr. Ramsey, I'm sure you're not listening, but if you ever heard this, it was a pleasure to have you on the boat. But he is my spirit animal because not only was he very funny and just the nicest guy ever, but he is not a morning person. And he let me know that right on the phone. He says, Mr. Cody, I'm excited to get out there on the water with you. I don't care if I catch fish. I'm just tickled to death. But listen, I don't like to be on a schedule. So I might wake up at 7:30. I might wake up at 10:30. And then I got to go to Starbucks and I got to get my coffee. And then I'll ease my way that way. And then, I'll meet you wherever. So it's one of Breezy's coworkers, or I guess he'd be
kind of a boss.
Boss, right? So I'm like, okay, 7:30. That's not really an accurate window. So I just took it upon myself to get up. I had to rig some rods. I went, put the boat in the water. I went ahead and got his shiners. And long story short, I rigged the rods, and he ended up calling me and he said, all right, Cody, I just left my hotel. I got to go get my coffee. I'm going to drive there. I'm going to stop at the local gas station here owned by a buddy of ours. I'm going to top off with fuel, and then I'll be heading to the boat ramp. So I knew that I had about roughly an hour and a half before Ramsey got to the boat ramp. So as opposed to just sitting there, I had the boat in the water already. I had a couple of rods with me. I said, you know what? Let me just go out here and fish for myself and just, I don't know, goof off. And long story short, I ended up fishing a spot that I hadn't fished in. I'm 30. I was probably 10 years old the last time my boat was ever even in this spot. And what was funny was I went in there just on a whim, just to see what it looked like. And there were some really nice pennywort mats on the left-hand side. And I started flipping those mats. And I remember when I was like 8 years old or 9 years old, I was running this area with my brother and I think my dad. And Denny, this is when FLW was still a thing. And, well, obviously. And Denny Brower was still heavy into fishing these tournaments. And I remember seeing him flipping a jig on this particular bank. And I remember my brother yelling something at him or whatever. And I was fishing this spot and I was flipping these mats that looked so good, but I didn't get a bite. And then I just remember that story just kind of went through my head for a second. And I said, well, Denny Brower was over here on this side. I should maybe go over there. I literally went over there and I think I'm going to say I made 15 flips and had 10 bites. They were all spawning. They were all like 3.5 pounders. They weren't giants, but I was like, holy crap. Like there's there's a big wad of fish in here. And I ended up leaving them. And they were not set up to go catch shiners. So that's why I didn't obviously take Ramsey, this gentleman over there, because it was in a narrow cut. But it really surprised me. Like, wow, I caught some fish here. And then I ended up going out there where I shot the practice video and ran over there. And I ended up catching some fish out there until he arrived. We went out, we blew through 6 dozen shiners, caught some big fish. It was cool. And I remember texting or calling Breezy and telling her, like, I went to X and I caught like 10 fish and they were good. Like, and I remember her even asking, like, well, I don't even know what made you go in there, but I did. After the trip, I dropped Ramsey off and I said, I just want to run back in there and check him one more time. And I went back in there and, I ended up catching a couple more. Fast forward to a week later, I'm talking to Kelly about this. He's like, there's no way. On his way to work one morning, he brings 2 flipping rods. He slides through the boat ramp, jumps on my boat. I run him in there. His first flip, he catches a 5-pounder, and 2 flips later, I catch a 4-pounder. And I said, that's it. And me and him left it alone. And like I said, we'll get into that more in the actual tournament video as to how everything transpired and how we caught more than we figured we'd catch, but we knew we had an opportunity to catch that if things went right, and some things happened. But we'll get into that in the tournament video. But it was pretty cool. So it was funny. Like I was telling Breezy, I think last night, like if it weren't for your boss, I truly don't think me and Kelly would have had the finish that we had. And he has no idea. He's back in Georgia selling crates and has no idea about any of this. But truly, if he was like most of my guys, if I tell you to meet me at 6:30, you guys are there at 6, and you're calling me at 6:10 asking if you're in the wrong spot because you guys are already there. A lot of times I'm still in bed because especially if we're fishing out of the south end, we live 4 minutes from Belglade boat ramp sometimes. So
sometimes we don't move.
Boy, we don't move, but it depends. You got cane trucks. Sometimes you get a train. Sometimes you get the homeless guy that wants to ask you for money at the red light, and then he's going to tell you the same spiel he tells us every day. So, but yeah, so that was cool. So me and Kelly walked away with 10 grand. Had the bites to win the tournament, but I always tell myself whoever did beat you, I'm sure lost some big ones also.
Yeah.
And they did. I kind of went back and watched their little recap video they did, and I think they said the first day they lost 2 big ones or something. So there you go. But it was just an awesome finish, super cool. And I knew that was going to happen because you were not here.
Yep. Had a good feeling.
Yep. So that's usually how that works. Richard Newberry, you owe me dinner, like you said, because
I told you to buy yourself.
There is a Calcutta. I had my scale the day. All right, so you guys know I run a flats boat. I like to put fanoodles in my live well for the simple fact of if the fish jump up, they don't hit the latch and cut themselves or anything while we're running around the live well. And B, when you open that big lid, when they see sunlight, they want to jump out. Well, those fanoodles kind of block the sunlight and make them relax. So I told her that I was going to Walmart to get fanoodles. I needed AAA batteries for my Cold Commander scale. And then your mom heard I was going to Walmart and asked to pick up Christmas tree ornaments or something. I don't even know.
You forgot them.
No, I went in to Walmart and I was looking for fanoodles. I asked the lady. She said, you need to go all the way down to this aisle and make a right, and they're on the left. I walk across the store, go to the right, look on the left. There's nothing there. I asked the employee, I said, I'm looking for fanoodles. And she said, they're down here. He said, no, you need to walk all the way back where you just came from. But instead of going to the right, over up there, go to the left. So I walk all the way across the Clewiston Walmart to the other side. Nothing. And then another employee with his AirPods in comes by. I wave him and I go, I'm looking for fanoodles. He goes, we don't have those. Then I asked another employee and he said they didn't have them. So I just got the hell out of there.
Wintertime.
It's fanoodles. So I left. I never went to the ATM. So long story short, we show up to this meeting. I don't have enough cash. I thought we would go for like $60. People were bidding us up, and we didn't buy ourselves in the Calcutta, and it cost us another $5,500. We could have won.
Yep.
Yeah. So Breezy's not happy about that.
I told you so.
Yep. But so that was cool. The lake fished pretty good. The guys who beat us, they had almost a 30-pound bag the second day, so that was pretty cool. We lost some big fish. It was kind of a parking lot where we were, but we were just lucky enough to be able to stay away from everybody. We saw, I don't know. I mean, everyone you know was around us. Saw your cousins around us both days. We saw world famous Benny Townend around us all day. We shared the water with a lot of people, but then there was a lot of people up north, and I heard that was even more of a parking lot. But there were a lot of fish being caught up there, and I hear that up north is going off right now. I got to work tomorrow, and I might be running up there, so we'll report back on that. We were basically between Clewiston and Pelican Bay. I mean, we fished a couple of different areas, but we stayed more on the south end. But I think I had to go to the so we have for this event we have a pre-tournament meeting, and you have to go and they feed you and they let you know what's going on the lake, which by the way, I don't remember, and you weren't there, but I don't remember this lady's name, but they got some new lady who's running for something to stop the spraying or something.
Oh, I met her at the last tournament. I forget her name.
Like, I hope I'm not being offensive, like middle-aged lady, but like, yeah.
Yeah, Raymond introduced me to her,
She's
signing the petition.
Yeah.
And yeah, listening to her talk. She knows her stuff.
Ma'am, I'm sure you're not listening to my podcast. I'm sure you have better things to do, but this woman is dialed. I really like. We get a lot of people that say they're going to stop the spraying and they're going to do this and do that. She was good.
Yeah.
Like she was, and then, you saw when we ran up to Buckhead that day, that giant thing by Indian Prairie that they're scooping up the water hyacinths with. The guy who invented that was there speaking about that. And that guy's kick ass too. So it was really cool. I mean, no offense to the Roland Martin Marine Series team and no offense to anyone else who's spoken there in the past at this tournament, but we get a lot of people that I feel like show up and like, we're going to stop this spraying. We're going to manage, and nothing ever happens. These gentlemen and this woman were the first two people where I was like, this guy, he's got $5 million in machinery floating around in the lake, and he talked about what he's doing with it and stuff. So it was really cool. And then this new woman who's fighting to do it, she seemed, she's much smarter than me and knows her stuff.
It's a lot of work. It's a full-time job.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And but that was cool. And I forget what. Oh,
that'd have been cool to hear.
Yeah, no, it was. And they did, they awarded Matt and Nick, they won Angler of the Year or Team of the Year. My two buddies, super happy for them. They were, it was funny. I didn't say we got second place and was happy about that. I kept saying, like, we beat Kale and Brad, and we beat Nick and Matt. We beat Jesse and Gary. Like, these teams are, the competition on this lake is these guys do not miss. They catch them every week, every weekend. And it just felt really cool to be able to, be on top of those guys, and come out on top. And I think Kale and Brad got second. I forget what Matt and Nick had, but
they did not get second. You got second.
Third. Sorry. I keep thinking like we won the thing or something. Yeah, they got third. We beat them by like a pound. But when you're idling in to weigh in, it's like, what do we got? What do they got? So it was cool that we finished much better than we thought. But what I was going to say about the tournament meeting, I could not even eat my barbecue chicken because every time I got ready to bite, someone would grab my shoulder and ask if you shot your deer.
I did not, or you would know it because I'd be screaming it from the rooftop. He's still nocturnal. He was showing up on my cell camera every couple of hours, right where he needed to be, just not in daylight, not safe light by any means. I was actually climbing the stand one morning, kind of got up late, was tired. Well, I only had Friday morning. We got up to Georgia late. It was foggy, so I kind of took my time climbing. I was so quiet getting in there. Foggy, perfect. He was sitting right there.
But it was before shooting.
Yeah, right? I couldn't have done anything about it. My camera went off as I sat down. I said, of course, he's sitting right there. Can't see him. Closest I've been to him. He's still there. And then as of today, I got to work. My dad said, "Look who showed up at your stand." We call it Condo 2. It's a condo stand, and we haven't seen this deer since
We went to Nashville.
the beginning of November. We've not seen him on the property. It was the first time we had daytime pictures. He is massive. We had him 2 mornings in a row in the daylight, and then he just disappeared. And now he's back in the daylight this morning, and he spent 30 minutes at my feeder in the food plot and everything. And we don't know where he's been, but he's back. I can tell he's been chasing. It's supposed to be cold this weekend. I can't go because Christmas is around the corner and we've got lots to do. But my dad's going, so I don't know if he's going to get Triple T or this other giant, but maybe he'll put one on the ground.
Yeah, I was supposed to go with him. He kept saying, "You're gonna get your." He kept just assuming I was gonna go, and I really wanted to go, but I planned on going. He's leaving tomorrow. I have to work tomorrow morning, and then I planned on going for the weekend. Just me and him, just hanging out in the quiet in the woods. But like Breezy said, Christmas is around the corner. I have some stuff I got to get done. She has stuff she has to get done. She's got to wrap gifts. It's my mother's birthday this week. She hates that her birthday is so close to Christmas, but it's just, I was like, you know what? And I'll tell you what, guys, also, like going back to this tournament real quick, like I was physically destroyed after fishing that thing. I'm on this lake every day, and I'm in the summertime. Breezy knows, like when I get home at noon in August, July, I need to take a nap because that heat just it kills me when you're out there every single day. Now lately, like I'm fine. I can go out there and fish with you guys an 8 hour day, and yeah, I'm tired, but I'm functioning when I come home. I come home, I see her, I see Lake, we hang out, we cook dinner. I'm good. But that was the first time in a year really that I had to fish a 2 day event and with a lot of money on the line and just the money's cool. But Breezy will tell you, like, I mean, I like the money. The money, obviously, we need the money, but that trophy, that cardboard check, that's what I want. I like to win. And going into the tournament and knowing how it was setting up and knowing what we had found and what could transpire or what could, happen if everything lined up correctly, which it was. I was very anxious in the morning, the first day, and it started right away that like when we got to that spot, I think we made 8. Well, Breezy was kind of watching some of the clips today while we were eating, and she was laughing at poor Kelly because where we were fishing, I mean, Kelly was fishing mop up because we were flipping, and there was just like this, like I was hitting the juice before he could. But I think I made 8 flips, so we had 14 pounds. I mean, they were just right. It's very rare that you find them, and Breezy will tell you the same thing, and you go there tournament day, and nothing's changed at all. And that's what happened. So as soon as we put, like, because our whole main goal was we're going to go to this spot, and we're going to leave there with 14 pounds, which is exactly what we did. I think we left there with 15, and we had that 15 pounds in like 10 minutes. I think we caught a limit in like 8 flips, and then it was 5 minutes later, I caught a 5 or something, which cold. And we were like, holy shit. Like, all right, we've been here 20 minutes and we're at our goal. We thought we might have to stay in there an hour and a half, and we left it. So because we needed it for the next day. So right away, and then on our way out, I'm getting like so far into this video that I need to like stop describing. But on our way out, I catch a giant, and you're like, holy, and right from then, like my anxiety, like now you're constantly like, do I need what do I need to do now? We end up in, we're in like 7th place going into day 2, show up again in the morning. It started right away again. So like my anxiety, I didn't eat anything for like 2 days because I'm out there. Late weigh-ins, the locks. We didn't, at the second day, we didn't weigh in till like 6:00 at night. So I was whooped. Then I had to work the next 2 days. And so anyway, I was supposed to be going to Georgia, but I was like, I'm just not going to do it. I got to do stuff around here because we're hosting Christmas in our family for the first time at our house because my family still lives on the coast. Breezy's parents live. I mean, I could throw a paper airplane and land it in her parents' living room, but her sister lives an hour away. She has a 6-year-old now.
She's got 2 6-year-olds.
That's right.
And like a 10 or 11-year-old.
This is
She
true.
Just got remarried. So now I have 3 nephews around the same age. So Christmas is fun, but
for
we're
years
on the road.
But on the years past, like we would literally drive to Deerfield Beach, spend Christmas Eve with my mom and dad and my brothers and sister and all that, and then drive back, get here late, wake up in the morning, drive to LaBelle to her sister's house, and we said we have a baby.
Be there when the boys wake up and
right.
do all that fun stuff.
It was just a lot of running around for us, which it is for everyone. But we said, all right, now we have our own son. We have a baby, so we're not.
Come to us.
You can come to us now. So we're having it here. So I got to get stuff done. You haven't wrapped a single gift, right?
No, but I'm almost done shopping.
Yeah, we're not even done shopping yet. So I was like, you know what? I feel stupid also that she's been away 3 weekends in a row, and the weekend she's staying, I'm going. I didn't want to do that.
That's hunting. He's allowed.
Yeah, she said I was allowed. Yeah, she's not.
He's also not a morning person,
right?
And he doesn't like the cold.
And it's going to be 29.
And you wake up early, and it's going to be 29. So I think that was like he was going back and forth, and I'm like, you can only make the decision. It's up to you. But it is going to be cold. I'm going to stay home.
Yeah, so I'm staying home. So, so he's going by himself, and hopefully he shoots something. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Most of you watching this know Jeff McMillan. If you don't, you're stupid. I was going to say, most of you know who my father-in-law is. So that's that. So the next video, like I said, is going to be the Roland Martin video. I might be able to maybe sneak out and go fishing on like Sunday or something. No.
After Christmas?
No, this Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, Sunday is Christmas, next Sunday. Yeah.
I work the day after Christmas. No, I don't. I believe I have the 26th available.
All my days are running together.
If anyone's looking to book a trip.
This weekend. Yeah. Maybe we can go.
Your mom will be here?
It'll be cold.
Your mom's going to be here?
Yeah, but Lake's not been on the lake, and his name's Lake.
This is true, but...
I want to go speck fishing.
Yeah, that's another thing I'll talk about real quick. The speck fishing down here is the absolute best it's been, and from what I'm not crappie guy. All of you. So here's another thing I'm going to tell you. If you call me for a crappie trip, I'm probably going to tell you no, just because I'm not crappie guy. I can send you to somebody. I'll take you bluegill fishing. I love catching bluegill on the full moon. Me and Breezy go do that every year. And I know how to do that. I just don't consider myself the crappie guy, but these guys are filling boats with them right now.
Yep.
And she wants to go do that. Well, maybe we'll go do that. Maybe we'll film a crappie video.
It'll be cool weather, so he won't be hot.
We'll see. Yeah, if we go crappie fishing, we'll take him. If we go bass fishing, I don't know.
He might end up with
Trebs or something because they're eating well, again, getting back to that video, what they're eating. So we'll leave that. We'll leave that. So maybe we'll do that. But then it's Christmas, and I'm working really the whole next week. I'm off Christmas Day, but the 26th, I think, is the last day I have open. If anyone wants, I might not even book it. Might be tired after Christmas.
We're gonna have lots of toys to play with.
Yeah, that's true. So I might not be doing that. And then it'll probably just be tournaments and just fishing the lake for a while. I really do want to get into like trying to expand the channel a little bit with maybe some snook fishing, with just going and fishing other bodies of water around Florida. I've got so many guide buddies. I want to go fish Headwater. I've never been to Headwaters Lake yet. I want to go fish that with my buddy Garrett. Garrett Rockamora. I send most of my people that want to go to Headwaters, Kissimmee, Toho, to him. I've got connections all over, so I want to go start filming up there and just take a day and go up there and fish some new lakes. I love Lake Okeechobee. Obviously, it's where I'm going to be continuing to guide, but just to do some different stuff, I want to do that. So
leave some comments. I'll read them. He won't. Of what y'all want him to do, what y'all want to see.
everyone just likes the Lake Okeechobee stuff, which I mean, but just for selfish reasons, I want to go fish. I don't know. I want to go fish Toho or go fish head. I feel stupid for not going to fish headwaters. I know it's kind of overfished now, but it's not too far away. Everyone likes the peacock. You haven't even been peacock fishing with me yet down there.
Oh, it's been a long time. No, I haven't been down there.
When it's been good.
Mm-mm.
I know. Well, the baby's here now. We have babysitters, so now hopefully you'll see Breezy and I told you January 16th or 8th we're fishing King of the Glades. No.
Out of the lake.
Yeah. Not the 8th. The 8th we're going to be at 13th. Yeah, something like that.
13th, 15th.
We're going to be in Georgia for the last.
We'll be the second weekend of January is our last weekend of hunting season.
Right.
Weekend after.
And then I think the weekend after is King of the Glades.
You have to knock the dust off my reels.
Yeah. So Breezy, I told Breezy we're going to start fishing some more tournaments together. So King of the Glades is actually kind of how we met in a long, weird way, because I was coming up here to fish that trail with my buddy Matt, and then I ran into her. So it's kind of how we met.
We kind of planned it that way.
Kind of. But so yeah, that'll probably be the next time the next tournament me and Breezy will fish together. So you guys will see that. We asked have you guys had any questions in the last one, but there really weren't any. You remembered
what
one.
What color trap and what kind? My favorite is a Foxy Mama Excalibur, which they don't make anymore. So if any of you have any in your tackle boxes that you want to get rid of, send them my way.
But there's more to this story, because that's her favorite. But like she said, they don't make them anymore. But when we met, where were you working when we met?
Bass Pro.
Right. And when you got the news that they were not making.
Yeah, when they were going out, they were clearancing them out of our selection. I had my manager, Chris, go on the store computer and order every Excalibur Foxy Mama in any size from all our stores and ship them to me.
So Bass Pro Shops has a few locations, if you guys aren't aware. And it wasn't just Foxy Mama, though. What was the other one?
We got a couple colors, but Foxy Mama is the favorite.
Yeah. What was that? Yeah, there was like a shad or something.
No.
I think it was just, I don't know. There was one that looks like Foxy Mama, but it's a little different.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, whatever Excaliburs we can get in gold and silver, my dad said, order them up, get them. So we have a little stash left, but it hurts when you lose one.
It's still a pretty big stash. So they literally every Excalibur rattle trap in Bass Pro Shops inventory got shipped to her store, and her dad gave him a credit card, and they had to get like a semi truck to go get them.
It wasn't as much as you.
It wasn't that much, but it was a lot. Well, it's dwindled since me and you have been together. But I remember, I was like, what? Oh, yeah, they they don't make it. I said, I know they don't make them anymore.
He swears that the new Booyah one's the same thing, but it's not. It's very close, but it is not the same.
I thought it was the same. Her and her dad said no, but I've talked to a couple people that say the same thing, that say no, there's something different.
It's something. It's close.
But
we also like Spro, Aruku shad.
Yeah. I forget what size, 75 or something.
Yeah, 3/4 ounce, 1 ounce, sometimes half when they're schooling. We just love traps. I don't know.
Yeah. But the Aruku shad one, I feel like you guys throw that and the Excalibur Foxy Mama the most.
Yeah, those two. Yeah, for sure.
And I know that they would.
And the 1 ounce traps, we have mostly like those old school American shad rattle traps. We only have a few left, so we
the Lucky Craft.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big ones.
They keep every time they would go to the store, you guys would buy traps, but then you go in her dad's garage, and it's a wall as big as this one with Plano boxes full of traps, full of the same traps he just bought from Tackle Warehouse or from Mike or from. I mean, there's. I don't understand why you guys buy more. I mean, they could lose a rattle trap. They could lose 10 traps every time they went fishing, and they'd never run out of them. And you used to like color them with nail polish and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
when the fish would eat them and they'd eat all the paint off, the trap was still good. So my dad would go and tell me to get my nail polish, and I'd get the silver, the gold. I even had that ugly lime green color nail polish on the Aruku shad. I'd do the little red. I still have them. One of mine lost an eye, and I just like colored it in red, and it's still on there. I still fish with it.
Kelly likes the Aruku shad too. But my problem with Kelly, my partner, is he pulls them out of the box and just throws them out there. He doesn't change the hooks.
Nope.
And you're a round bend fan.
Round bend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I like the EWG KVD hooks and stuff, but you guys used a Gamakatsu round bend, the silver one.
Silver.
It like
2 and a 4.
Right. Yeah, and you would upsize both hooks too. So that's one thing you guys got to remember out here on Lake Okeechobee. Like when you think of trap fishing in like, I don't know, anywhere else in the country, like I remember when we went to Chickamauga and you had to throw like 14 pound and you were like, no, because our fish are, they're more, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's our water. They're just more aggressive, but like, you know, everyone like these super sharp number 6, number 8 trebs on these rattle traps and these, you know, they're throwing them on 10-pound fluoro and stuff. You throw it on 20-pound big game, you pull the hooks off. And another thing that you guys do that I don't even think you notice that you do, that I noticed, is if you take a lipless crankbait and pull it out of the box, even with the stock hooks, usually the front hook is a size bigger than the back. You put the big hook on the back and the smaller hook in the middle. Doesn't change the swimmer, the way the bait performs.
No, it just helps secure them. If they're going to swat at it, you might have 1 extra second to get them in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we like the round bends. To us, we feel like if they swat at it, they might miss it more than the wide gaps. But when they have it, they have it. And that could just be, you know, that we have confidence in that. And that's what we believe in, because he's the opposite. But yeah, like, that works for us.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like the EW or whatever, the wide gap KVD style triple grip hook or whatever they call it, triple grip. But they just use these big old round bends, and you pretty much just, well, Foxy Mama is basically like gold and silver in one.
Yes.
It's got like a gold side and silver. So that's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But you have noticed where some days they want gold and some days they want silver.
Yeah, we'll always start off one of each and see who's getting the more bites. One of us throw gold, one throw silver, and then we go from there.
Yeah. But that's the only 2 colors you need down here. I mean, they make 1,000 colors in rattle traps anymore, but same thing with like swim jigs. I mean, right? I mean, I tell you guys all the time, I'm not a color person, but like you used to always throw swim jigs too, and you just had 3 swim jig rods. You had some kind of brim, green pumpkin color, right? Black and blue and white.
Yes, all 3, all the time.
Right. But you didn't really necessarily worry about if it had a little tinsel of this in it, or
that one with a little bit of purple and the blue. No.
The only thing that ever you noticed was the orange.
The orange, yeah. Orange on Lake Okeechobee, there's something to orange. They love it, and not enough people throw it, which I probably just shot myself in the foot there. But those swim jigs with the little orange on their belly, don't be afraid to pick those up.
On the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember your dad would tell me that, like, and that was one thing like I always tell people how you like to throw sungill.
Yeah.
And that is the only color that I've noticed where it'll make such a big difference. Like I've seen it where you can go through throwing a swim bait or a swim jig or a speed worm in like black and blue or like a Copperfield color or a watermelon natural color. through an area and like catch a fish here and there, but then go back through it with that same bait in a sungill color, which for those of you that don't know, I am partially colorblind, but sungill has orange in it, right? I mean,
No, it's more yellowy green.
it's not
That's
orange.
this one right here.
Yeah. That looks orange to me.
No, it's more yellowy gold with green on top.
Oh.
I'm sure y'all know.
Okay.
Orange is the hurricane crawl. Green pumpkin on top, orange on the belly. I throw that one too.
Yes. She likes hurricane crawl, but I thought sungill had orange in it. That's not orange?
No, that's yellow. It's like a deep yellow, like the yellow my dad used to throw all the time.
That's not that yellow.
Almost. Not as bright. It's more gold. I'll give you gold. I won't give you orange.
Okay. Well, anyway, I've seen where sungill will. That's reddier, so that's Val at Gambler's version of a sungill color. Same thing. I've seen where that color will get just destroyed. I think it was like in that Roland's Classic a couple years ago when you and your dad were at Indian Prairie, and like the second day you decided to throw like a sungill dipper or something, and you caught like 40 fish.
Yeah.
When the day before you guys caught like 10 all day, but that changed, you know.
No, I have 100% confidence in anything sungill, reddier, orange. I'll throw it all day.
Yeah.
And the few people I've told about the orange, they've even come back and said, "You're right. There's something to orange on this lake."
I don't know if it's if our bluegill get like a tint of orange to them underwater or something, but it's like everyone talks about black and blue on Lake Okeechobee or in Florida, and like, yeah, that's a
staple.
It is, but I don't know. I feel like there's other ones too. I mean,
I'm also one that will branch out, where he's like, I throw this color and this color and that. Not me. If it's new and it looks good, I'm gonna try it. Like the Gambler bruised copper or all those, I try everything.
Yeah, she'll just tie it on and throw it. Yeah, no, she does.
I have more confidence if I have confidence in the bait, I'll throw any color.
When we were catching them down here when the lake was super low a couple years ago, I remember you were throwing like a Nichols black and blue with like gold and white swim jig and then you put a white crawl on
wasn't that the JT?
JT's, I don't even know what it was.
It was like a mixture.
And then she puts a white craw on there, and I was like, and she first cast catches a 6-pounder. I was like, okay, that's like when I see stuff like that happen. That's what like sometimes I think the color, we pay too much attention to the color.
Well, and it's something different. They're so used to black and blue and green pumpkin or white. Give them something else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That was
even with my swim jigs, I'd have white, like an Alabama brim or something. And there's something with a little gold, black, and blue. I'd mix up my trailers.
Yeah, you did do that.
Well, half the time my trailers never matched, but that was okay. It worked.
Yeah. Like, I remember one time we were fishing and, like, we got in there and a bunch of shad had blown up into this area. So we were both throwing black and blue. And I cut my swim jig off to tie on a white swim jig with a white trailer, and you just ripped your easy swimmer off and put a white easy swimmer on the back of your black and blue swim jig and caught just as many, if not as many, just because they just needed some kind of white in there because of those shad. Again, I think a fish is an opportunistic feeder when it comes down to it. I think we just pay too much attention about. Now, I will tell you one thing also, which was something I noticed this past weekend in this tournament, going back to that again, was the Strike Force stuff. So I guess she used to be sponsored by them.
Yeah.
So Breezy,
I used them way before that.
Yeah, Breezy's been using so when she was fishing the Toyotas and stuff, she was sponsored by them and whatnot. But for years before that, you guys were playing around with that stuff.
Yeah, Mike Krause got it in Roland's back when he worked at Roland's, and he's like, "Y'all have to try this," and he gave us a bottle. And then the next day, it was a Bass Buster, Saturday, Sunday. We went back Sunday morning. My dad bought all the bottles off the counter so no one else could have it. That's how much it made a difference for us, we thought.
And it probably did. And this is something I noticed this past weekend. Me and Kelly wrote, because we're fishing the biggest tournament we're going to fish this year. So like I said before, scent doesn't hurt. So, but What I noticed is at that starting spot, I put a beaver on and I'd spray it down, and every fish flipping, not one of them was hooked in the lip. They were all in the crunchers. Like they were just because these fish were spawning. Or I think what happened during the event, I think they kind of pulled off of the bed a little bit, but it was more of like, it wasn't just like a flip lift. It was more of like a flip it in there and count to 5 with it on the bottom, and your line would jump. And they were literally going down to that thing and just sucking it off the bottom. And but still, even when that happens, and you hook them in the lip, and all, these fish had it in the crunchers. And I was like, man, like they'd probably still hit it if it didn't have it, but they're just, I don't know. I feel like they were really holding on to it.
We've noticed a difference, especially if they're like, say you're swimming a dipper or an easy swimmer or whatever, and they're swatting at it and they're not holding on to it. That's when I would spray it. I don't spray every bait. Who has the time? Who thinks to do that? Some people spray it in the bags. I don't like touching them, all that slimy and scenty and all that. So I spray the bait as needed. But I've noticed if they're being real finicky and you spray it, they're going to hold on to it because that stuff is potent.
Yeah, and that Strike Force stuff, I mean, you could spray it on and fish for 20 minutes and pull the beta, and it still smells like it.
Yeah.
I don't even know exactly what it smells like, but it did make a difference.
Well, and there's no water in the Strike Force, so if you did spray it in your bag and leave it overnight or for that week or something, those baits won't swell. So that's one good thing.
Yeah.
I don't do it, but I know that's a good thing. I think my cousin Dylan does that. He soaks his bags. He's probably going to kill me for that, but
great.
It works.
Dylan's going to get pissed. Him and Frank.
He used to.
I forget what him and Frank had. I think Frank said he lost a big one flipping or something. They came up right after the guys. So I'm going to tell this story about the tournament. This doesn't have to do with the tournament. But the reason we had to weigh in so late was because the lake is at like 16 and a half foot. So in order for us to get to Roland Martin's Marina from the lake, we have to use the locking system. Usually with a big event like this, Raymond Iglesias, who puts the tournament on, has some pull, and they'll get them to just leave the locks open for 2 hours at a time. So for us to leave, and when we come back to weigh in, it makes it easier. Well, the lake is just too high for them to do it. So we had to go in flights, and they can only take like 14 boats at a time in and out, and it's like a 20-minute ordeal each lock session. And there was like 140 boats. So it was a mess. So anyway, we're coming in, and we're waiting, and there was these guys, and I don't remember their names. Maybe they watch my stuff, but they own the company Bass Gorillas. And these guys were Bass Gorillas. These dudes were the two biggest guys in the tournament. And they pull up behind me in their new Camus, and these two jackasses, I don't want to use the term white trash, but white trash individuals in a red bass tracker come barreling into this lock like their boat's on fire, bump into this guy's brand new boat, and the guy in the Camus just kind of says something like, hey, which I expected him to, just kind of like called the guy a dumbass or something. And these guys flew, these guys in this aluminum boat, I thought they were about to climb over boats to start trying to fight these guys. And now, granted, the guys in this Camus are in a tournament, and I'm sitting there saying, dude, don't even, it's not worth your time. You're going to get DQ'd from the event. You weigh 170 pounds more than these guys. Just don't. It's, we're all sitting there like, don't feed into it. And we're stuck in a lock. We're stuck in there. And the guys finally kind of settle down. The lock opens. We start going to weigh in, and the tracker boat like pulls over to the side, and they take their shirts off, and they're like, come on, we're ready for you. And I'm telling you, these guys in this tournament were two guys that I wouldn't mess with no matter how much you paid me. And these guys are trying to get them to come to the ramp and fight. All this mess. We go to the ramp. We're laughing about it with the guys. little did I know, my buddy Colton Hester, who's a guide on the north end, him and Brad Gibson are putting their boat on the trailer. The guys in the aluminum boat jump up on plane in the basin in Clewiston, running towards the boat ramps, and they're talking to each other apparently about how they're going to go and kick these guys' ass. Well, they forget they're running, and they forget the boat ramps are there, and they air the boat, the tracker, up onto the boat dock. Motors spinning out of the water, and the floating dock leans over, and they fall back in the water. It was insane. I don't remember how I got on that, but I just had to tell that story. It was like the funniest because that, long story short, they end up coming back to the tiki bar. They're looking for these guys to fight them. They had already went back to the room to prepare for day 2. I got Raymond involved. Raymond just basically walked up to these guys and said, "Get the hell off the property." But it was funny because we're all talking about it, about what happened in the lock. And then my buddy Colton comes to weigh in. He's like, "Dude, you guys missed the boat ramp fiasco. These guys in a red tracker just Dukes of Hazzarded the boat up onto the ramp." But, always a good time at the Roland Martin weigh-ins there. So, I don't know. I guess that's about it. We'll kind of just wrap this up. I don't even know how long we've been talking, but we just wanted to kind of touch base. So, like I said, the next video you'll see will be the tournament video from the event. Breezy did not get her deer, but we'll be going back in a couple of weeks. We might do another one of these before Christmas if anything else happens, if something cool happens that we want to talk about, or we go fishing or something. But seriously, any questions you guys want us to do? The next one, maybe we'll do it on like YouTube Live or something.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But any questions you guys have? Anything you guys want me to do within the realm of possibility for me, like on the channel, let me know. If you guys, everyone says they like the podcast. I can't believe this many people listen to me sit here and ramble, but
they're long.
Yeah. But if anyone wants me to go fish a lake or talk about a certain topic or technique, let me know. If you have any questions for Breezy, let me know, or just leave it in the comments. I just want to give a huge, huge, huge shout out to the entire staff. And I'm going to say this again in the next video, but over there at Roland Martin Marine Center, they're just all great people to begin with, but you fished the events since they started also. It is the best, well-ran, easygoing, fun, high-paying tournament out there.
It's still the highest paying in Florida.
Yeah, it
gets bigger every year, and
I don't. Raymond, who's the general manager of Roland, Raymond Iglesias, he's also the city, or is he mayor, or what is it? City commissioner for Clewiston. This guy goes above and beyond to just do what's best for the people of Clewiston, and just when it comes to this tournament, he's all in, and it shows. It's an awesome time, and you literally feel, especially when it comes down to the classic. Just the qualifiers too. You kind of feel like you're fishing in the damn Bassmasters Classic. They got our
Peanut helps.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So it's worth it just to come out to listen to Peanut, who's our MC.
He's awesome.
He's my buddy Charles Bass said it best. I don't think people get how fortunate we are that we have Peanut to do what he does for us, because you could have the worst day on the lake, you could have the worst practice ever and be dreading going out there for the tournament. But when the American flag pontoon boat comes out to sing the national anthem, and Peanut's on the mic singing Moana in the morning or whatever he's doing coming out, it puts you in a good mood. But he gets you fired up, he gets you hyped up. He's so passionate about what he does. So it's literally you'll go from just I'm tired, exhausted. The boat comes out, Peanut gives his announcements, he's firing you guys up, he plays the national anthem, and you're ready to go. But it's ran smooth from start to finish. you know, Raymond and them guys, they get a bunch of kids for community service hours to be working the place for, you know, at the ramp. You pull up, they have weigh-in bags for you. Raymond went above and beyond and got release trailers and release boats for this one to you know, help the fish stay. I mean, all the volunteers, Jim Finley, Cindy Finley, I say every time, there's a special place in heaven for you guys because you literally volunteer for something every single weekend. Heather,
Woo!
Raymond and Kobe, I love you, but if Heather ever leaves, the place is going out of business probably. I mean, Heather, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Guys, and I know you guys here, no matter what tournament gets fished on YouTube, it's always, if you guys are looking to fish a tournament, check this trail it's the shit. Like it's awesome. I mean, when it comes down to it, me and Kelly paid $300 last week. 300. That's what a BFL costs.
Mm-hmm.
Three or whatever. It's probably more than that. We paid $300 for a 2-day event to fish this classic. We went to a captain's meeting. They fed us. Like, they didn't give us Lunchables. I mean, they had, you know, badass barbecue chicken, like a full spread meal. We fished a 2-day tournament and we came in second place and we walked away with 10 grand. It was 35,000 for first.
And all the contingencies on top of that.
Yeah, we made an extra like 400 or something for wearing I mean, there's Mercury, there's Ranger, there's all these different contingencies, there's all these different I guess categories that you could win. Also, female angler. They do it right. Smallest limit. There's badass raffles. Raymond goes above and beyond to get good raffle prizes. And I don't want to jinx it, and I don't want to let anything out of the bag, but I heard from somebody there. I'll just say it was Raymond. He said he's going to try his best. Next year's going to be the 10th year they're doing it. Already, yeah. And he said he's going to try and make it. That first prize for the classic is 50 grand. So
he'll do it.
Yeah, and he'll do it. He doesn't stop. And that's just for the classic. The qualifiers leading up to it are $200, and you can win like 7 grand if you win. It's crazy.
You're fishing with a team.
You're fishing with a team, and you are fishing against. I mean, literally, like your cousins are tour anglers. They fish the tour. They're in it. Kiso, Medlock.
Sticks in Florida.
Literally, I mean, people come from all over to fish this thing, and there's a reason because it's not just the money. You fly down here, you drive down here, you spend your time, you pay your hotel, and yeah, you might win 7 grand. But if the tournament's ran like hell and it's just annoying and nothing's this and that, you're not going to come back. This tournament grows every single year, and I encourage you guys to, you could start out smaller, but if you want to fish an awesome team trail, definitely check out Roland Martin Marine Series tournament. And just thank you, all of you, the whole Roland Martin Marine Series staff, for what you do. Even grumpy Kobe Krieger there. He was actually nice to me the other day. I know he secretly likes me, but he acts like he doesn't. But all right, so that's it. We're gonna go to bed. You could probably tell me and her are both exhausted. We're both just tired. Lake's been keeping us on our toes lately here, so appreciate you guys watching. The tournament video should be out, I don't know, a couple days. And if you guys want to book a trip, shoot me a text, give me a call, and I will see you.
Gift cards are available, but you have to do it soon so I can get them in the mail if you have to get a gift. Fish with Captain Cody.
Yes, I've been doing quite a few gift cards. The gift cards, real quick, you just pay for them. She gets you a certificate in the mail. I've got these little line cutter things with my logo on them. I'll send you that and some stickers, and you just, they're good for whenever. After the holidays, after they get them, whoever they're for, they'll call me. We'll arrange a day, and whatever works best for you guys.
But that shipping deadline's coming up to get it there by Christmas. So give them a call.
So just
shoot us an email. I'll check it.
Yeah, because I never check my emails. And like I said, if any of you reached out to me in the past 3 days, just either to congratulate me or just looking for a trip and I didn't get back to you, I do apologize. It's been crazy, but yeah, that's it. So we're going to bed, and I guess I will see you guys on the next one.
Thanks for watching, listening.
All right, that was good. It was an hour.